Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Gotham episode 18 video, and just a quick heads up, there aren't going to be any new episodes until Monday, April 13th. Maybe because March Madness, they didn't really explain why, but there's just going to be a break, just like Arrow and The Flash. Don't worry, there's still plenty of Batman stuff we can talk about while it's away. Feel free to leave any requests for bonus videos. So let's get going. Just careful for spoilers from the episode if you haven't seen it yet, starting with top 5 moments. Number 5, Alfred is going to go after his old friend. It seemed like they were teasing that Bruce was going to track him down with Catwoman's help, but if anyone's going to punch him in the face, I think it's going to be Alfred. It's like the show has given each main character an opponent to take down before the end of the season. I think Bruce's takedown will be someone on the board. It'll be like Batman Begins when Bruce Wayne took down Rutger Hauer's character, like the evil board member. It'll be kind of like that. There's no way they would deny Alfred punching his old friend in the face. His loyalty seems a little weird, like he's not going to rat him out, but he stabbed him, so maybe we'll find out that the board coerced his friend into doing that to him, but I think that Alfred is definitely going to choke him out. It just feels like a wasted opportunity to not let Alfred get some more parkour badass moments. Moving on to number 4, everyone has a Cobblepot. Did anybody have that Peter Griffin moment when Bullock said that? It's like, he said the name of the thing, he said the title of the episode. I always laugh when I see moments like that. But the Cobblepots are just everyone's dirty laundry. It's just the dirt that Loeb has on everyone in the GCPD. They didn't say who Bullock's person was that he killed. Just it sounded like some low-level crook that some mob boss wanted to get rid of. But I love Gordon and Two-Face going on the hunt. Even that exterior shot of the diner, they just look so beautiful, just from a visual sense. Dent didn't get too crazy in this episode, which was kind of a bummer, because I think he's a lot more fun when he's being crazy, like crazy Two-Face mode. But even though they didn't swing too ridiculous funny, I felt like there were a lot of funny, dark moments. Like whenever they smash cut from the back of Bullock's car to them holding Loeb's old partner's head while they were driving around. Bullock's like, chill dudes, I got this. I know how to interrogate people. Those are some of my favorite funny moments. It's not necessarily meant to be a comedy moment, but they use the action for comedy. I think the show's finally figuring itself out a little bit, so the pacing, the jokes, the dialogue all works so much better. It also helps that they're like nearing the end of the season, so it's like they're ramping up for their big WTF finale. Speaking of which, number 3, meet the newest big bad, the Dollmaker. I explained in last week's episode, this Dollmaker is slightly different from the Dollmaker of the comics, and like the Barton Mathis Dollmaker that we saw on Arrow. That's the most recent comic book Dollmaker, or the one that's best known. I'm interested to see if they weave him into the story the same way that the comic book Dollmaker interacts with Batman, Joker, and the other villains of Gotham. As of now, it seems like he has more of a connection to the mob, with his business of replacing the organs of really rich people, and giving them whatever surgery they want. That WTF reveal with Jeffrey Combs, though, that was as comic booky as you could get in this episode. That's what the Dollmaker of the comics really does, combining a bunch of different body parts. I'll say that the actor playing him has done a pretty good job so far. He's been pretty reserved. I think the last thing I remember seeing him in was that Vin Diesel Chronicles of Riddick movie. He played a big villain in that, so I think that's why they cast him in this role, because they want Dollmaker on this show to be a big villain. I'm not going to call him the big bad this season yet, just because it seems like Gotham is positioning a couple different people in its rogues gallery. And until Gordon took care of Loeb at the end of the episode, I kind of thought that he was going to be one of the big bads too, but now it seems like he's in Gordon's pocket. Speaking of being in people's pockets, number 2, Gordon makes a deal with the Penguin. I love the way that they brought this back around with Bullock's comment. He reminds Gordon that no matter how many good things he does, it's not going to outweigh the one bad thing he did. I think the one bad thing that he was referring to was going to be whatever favor Penguin asks of Gordon, his no questions asked favor. Penguin also asked for access to the files. Since they didn't find any, I'm not sure that he saw them. So as the scales are weighed, right now, Gordon just owes Penguin that favor. Penguin doesn't have info on a bunch of other people yet. Although because those files exist, I do think that someone's going to search for them in the future. I think they'll be of use, as Penguin said. Like whenever he mentioned Falcone's favorite liquor, and Gordon's like, why the hell would I care about that? That knowledge might come in useful someday. So just set a bookmark on the commissioner's files, because if someone can get their hands on those in the future, then they could probably take down most of the big people in the city. That just sounds like something that Penguin would want to get his hands on, maybe with the help of the Riddler. I don't know if we're going to get a Riddler-Penguin team-up in Season 1, just because the Riddler has not broke bad yet, but that's just awesome. Season 2, Riddler, Breaking Bad. And of course, my number 1 WTF moment, meet Loeb's daughter, Miriam. Totally crazy. This is a really fun Easter egg. So the actress playing Miriam actually did the voice for Supergirl during the animated Justice League cartoon. I laughed so hard when she made the joke about crushing little bird skulls and then told Penguin, you look kind of like a bird. It's like she was going to reach out and just squish him like a bug. It was just such a great moment. Just in general, there were so many of these amazing, creepy moments. Like whenever they sat down to dinner with the two caretakers. Always beware of creepy houses in the middle of nowhere with people that seem way too nice. They call it the farm, which actually kind of reminded me of a Battlestar Galactica episode involving a lot of like baby harvesting. The title of that episode was The Farm, and then the house also kind of reminded me of Norman Bates' house from Psycho. I've said it a whole bunch of times, but one of the things that Gotham does really, really well is set design. Even like their CG outdoor scenes, like the diner scene that I talked about. Then you have places like the Dollmaker's office. Like the inside of his office just looked amazing. So just in general, the show has gotten a lot better. I mean, I think it's figured itself out a little bit more. It's figured the characters out, found their voices, but its set design has always been solid. Here's my big question for you guys. Right now, do you feel like the Dollmaker is going to turn out to be the big bad? Or are you expecting someone else, like someone from the Wayne board, to be even worse? I know I didn't mention him, but we have to talk about the Riddler too. The Riddler versus this guy here. The actor that plays the Riddler, Corey Michael Smith, was talking about his reaction to this moment. He said that we would see the rage on the Riddler's face at being riddled himself. Like, yes, he enjoys riddles, but he hates it when people throw riddles in his face. The really cool thing about the riddle, though, is that he was talking about a clock. I feel like that's an allusion to a ticking clock, a countdown clock to the Riddler breaking bad. I'll be really interested to see if when he actually does something evil, it'll be as part of this Kringle storyline, or if it'll be something totally random. Yes, all the Kringle stuff is making him really pissed off, so he could try to take this cop down. But it could also be a situation where an opportunity presents itself for him to vent his rage, and it just ends up being some random other thing. It's always funny to see like the big Batman villain triggers. Like, what is it that triggers them to do something crazy? I feel like the Penguin is already there. He took down Margie with a shotgun, no problem at the end of the episode. So of all the crazy villains on the show, he is the one that is least off the rails. I feel like the Riddler's going to be the one that's really going to go off the rails. So I already mentioned most of the Easter eggs in the episode, and I already spent most of last week's episode explaining the Dollmaker character, about how he's tied up with the Joker's origin story in the New 52. But if you guys saw anything else, just write it in the comments below. Just a reminder, no new episode till April 13th. So for the next 4 weeks, I'm just going to do bonus videos. Feel free to leave any requests you want, but I might do a character video next week. While you guys wait for that, you can click here for my Easter egg from last week to learn all about the Dollmaker and all that stuff that I just explained. And you can click here to catch up with Arrow and the Flash, which is also on break right now. Thank you so much for watching, so let's all high five. I'll see you guys tomorrow.